You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
This is Big Q from the Sports Coma chiming in about the Pro Shop. Pro Shop is the platform store, and over 35 different designs are available for your pleasure. The new Drew Orleans shirts are coming in all colors, all sizes. Also for women, men, and children are available. Built Drew Orleans Tough is also available. Despite Katrina, despite the plagues, despite everything else, we're still built Drew Orleans Tough, and we're gonna make it through it. The very popular God is a Saints fan shirt is available with volume number 2. One shirt that says it all. You'll be the life of the party with your God is a Saints fan shirt. Also other designs like the Chump Missioner tees. We didn't get robbed. The Drew Orleans neck gaiter that's also available now on the Pro Shop. Also, I am black and gold royalty. Tiger, purple, and gold pride. Built NOLA, Zion strong. Won't back down ever. Black and gold stand up. And many other great designs are available at the Pro Shop and provided to you by Pro Apparel. And not only tees or sweaters are available at the Pro Shop, also coffee mugs, smartphone cover cases for your Apple or Android, bedspreads, towels, posters, on and etc. Go to the Pro Shop, support the platform, and represent in style. Who that?
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Coming at you, family, for the Pelican post-game report. Clipper recap. Pelicans just didn't look good, man. Looked terrible in this one. The game was pretty much over by halftime. The Clippers put in 77 points at half, then went on to rout the Pelicans in the rest of the game. Absolute laughable game in the slightest. The defense, mediocre, laughable, terrible. A lot of the Pelican people that were watching it when I was doing the Sports Coma show I was doing back, and a lot of people were kind of absolutely peeved at the rotations, at the energy, the defense, everything, and then some. The Pelicans, the scrimmages, they won 3 straight scrimmages, then come into the restart and drop 2. What the hell? But anyway, we'll make sense of it today on the Pelican Post-Game Report as I bring in my co-host and key Pelican contributor, DC. How you doing, DC?
I'm doing all right. I'm listening to you lie to these people. Talking about we gonna make sense of this. Man, we can't make sense of that travesty.
We're gonna try. We got to.
People hit 25 3-pointers, man. You can't make no sense of that.
Which was their franchise record, by the way.
Right. That's just that people ain't show up to play. They had cats bit of friendly ghosts out there. Their body was there, their mind was somewhere else.
Well, let's try to make sense of it. I'm gonna try to make sense of it. We're gonna try to bring some people out of the darkness on this one, quite obviously, because you look at the game, 126-103, man, and we have interviews from Al Gentry chimed up coming up next. And, of course, we have Zion Williamson we're going to play as well. But this one here, this is going to be a short show. Of course, the Pelicans are going to get ready to play the Memphis Grizzlies, who are sitting with the 8th seed. The Pelicans only helped out by the fact that the Trailblazers lost to the Boston Celtics, but the Pelicans have to gain ground, man. They can't just be sitting up here taking pluses and suffering. They're losing games, and they have to step up. DC, what do you think?
The Trailblazers up a game on us already, man, because they had like an extra game that they actually played over us, the way the schedule's working. So they could drop that one game, But their schedule does, I think, get even harder as they go on. So that might be in our favor. Memphis is looking like they don't want it, man. They laid 2 eggs out the gate too. So
that's true. But we laying eggs helping them.
Right. Sacramento don't want it. They out there laying eggs. The Spurs and the Blazers look like they ready for a fight, man. So we mess around and lose against Memphis today. I'm calling it right now, man. Might be time to go ahead and wrap it up. We might as well just put the bubble wrap on Zion and hope we can get a better draft pick because it's gonna be kind of hard. On top of even if they do go, let's say 5-3, just that loss against Memphis. So today, we should see basically playoff intensity today. They should be playing like they hold everything is on the line. Alvin Gentry better coach the best game of his career. Because if he loses this game, to me, I say you fire. If he loses this game after laying those eggs that he already laid, I'm not gonna beat him up too much for this Clippers game. Everything was outmatched. He did a horrible job coaching, but we was just outmatched all the way around the board. But that Jazz game, man, there's no excuse. We should have won that game. And if they lose, there's no excuse for that.
Well, that's a part of it, man. We're going to look at the statistics before we run Gentry in here and see what he did. In the team statistics, the Pelicans, 38 of 85. They shot just under 45% from the field. They were just horrible in terms of the three-point shot. They shot 9 of 30 for 30%. From downtown. They were 18 of 28 from the free throw line for 4%, 59 rebounds versus 56 by the Clippers. And then, of course, ultimately, offensive rebounds 9, defensive rebounds 39. They did rebound it more, but it didn't really help the Pelicans in this one because the three-point shots were so just ridiculous. But not only the three-point shots, also the fact that the Clippers were able to get to the line too, 27 of 35 for 77%. They shot 42.5% from the field. So they shot well from the field and just exploded from the three-point line, 25 of 47 for 53% from downtown. It's hard to beat a team when they're shooting that volume of three-pointage from downtown, 53%. You're going to be hard-pressed to win that kind of game. Pelicans did outsist the Clippers 24-23. Clippers had 10 steals versus the Pelicans 4. 1-2 on the blocks in favor of the Clippers. 18 turnovers. The Pelicans, once again, in the first game against Utah, they had 21 turnovers. This one, they had 18 turnovers. And points off of turnovers, they had 34 points off the turnovers. The Clippers had 21 off of their 10. And then, of course, 4 fast break points. The Pelicans are running, but it's not really tallying to really help them, to be quite honest with you. Points in the paint, 46-20. Pelicans dominated that, and it really made no difference. The largest lead of the game, 42 points. 42 points at one time was the largest lead in the game for the Clippers. Here's Alvin Gentry to make sense of it, to explain to you why the Pelicans are failing so terribly in these games. Here's Gentry.
Well, like I said to you guys, we have to manage our turnovers. We've given up almost 60 points in 2 games off of our turnovers. And that's telling me that most of them are live turnovers. And we just got to do a better job in that department right there. If we could just eliminate that problem, that would solve a lot of the things that we're going through right now. Now, obviously, if a team makes 25 threes against you, you're going to have a very difficult time beating them. But I will give them credit because we just went back and looked, and most of those threes that were made were challenge threes. They just happened to shoot the ball exceptionally well last night. But we just got to do a better job on our turnovers. That's the thing that's, I would say, is the most bothersome right now.
Hey, Coach, it's Andrew from ESPN. What was just the overall mood today, considering it's not the start you guys wanted and, 6 games left to try and turn this thing around?
The one thing is that we can't do anything about the game last night. Obviously we were very disappointed in the Utah loss because we thought we controlled that game a lot of the time. So, I think what you have to do is that today one of the things that we did is that we showed a lot of positive things that we did over the course of the last 40 games that we played before the hiatus came. And so we saw ball movement, we saw good defense, we saw good team defense. And so we showed a lot of that today because I think this is important. And then obviously, we have some big games coming up, as you said, and we just got to play great basketball.
Of the last 40 games or so, it seems like one of the best wins you guys had of the season were the games against Memphis that you played. I think both of them were January. What are some of the things that you want to try to carry over that you guys did well?
I thought defensively we were really good in those games. We did a good job. I thought we did a good job of offensively playing in space, being able to create shots by dribble penetration. And so that's the way we'll have to play them again. They do a lot of switching, and we just got to make sure that we're taking advantage of the switches, not to the point of just trying to post the ball or force it in, but playing in space and having a good flow to our offense.
All right. That was Coach Elvin Gentry chiming in with his thoughts on the Pelicans and the rotations. We let it play a little bit more extensively because a lot of the Pelican faithful are searching for answers of why the Pelicans look so out of place. The first game, DC, Utah, they were up by 16, as much as 16, and it looked terrific in the first half of that game. Second half, they started jacking up dumb shots, not attacking the paint. Now as they start breaking down on defense, they lose the game by 2 to Utah at the end. Terrible. But we thought they might come back and put on a better outing against the Clippers. Well, guess what? They did not. They were absolutely destroyed by halftime. They were demoralized. NAW was the top dude with 15 points. He finished the game 6-7 shooting from the field. Paul George was the Clippers' top guy with 28 points on the night. It's just really crazy to me how Gentry's rotations are, and a lot of the people upset how Elvin Gentry is running these rotations. Absolutely insane how he's running these rotations. And DC, by the way, Zion Williamson, 14 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Your boy, Ingram, the all-star, 14 points, 2 rebounds, back-to-back restart games, DC, 0 assists. 24 minutes in that one. And of course, Derek Favors had 12 points in the matchup with 9 rebounds in 21 minutes. Drew Holiday struggled in this one. He had 4 points, 3 turnovers, 2 of 7 from the field, all 3 from downtown, a non-factor. He was totally out of it. Lonzo Ball continued to struggle. He had 7 points in the matchup with only 3 assists in the game in 24 minutes. And not too much to talk about. NAW was the top dog with 15 points and 2 11 scores from Jackson and Reddit off the bench with 11 apiece. So outside of that, we've seen exactly how the Pelicans did what they did. They were out of it by halftime. What's the problem with this Pelican team? Why are they faltering so bad in these restart games? Make sense of it for the Pelican faithful.
There you go with this make sense stuff.
Let's make sense of it. That's what it's all about.
We were trying to attempt to make sense of it, but none of it makes sense. But being objective and looking at it from outside the team, analyst that I am, you have to recognize and notice that our rotations and substitutions suck. Like Elvin Gentry is not allowing the right people to come out at the right times and putting in the right people. Derek Favors is playing horrible. He's having a little bit of a slump. I mean, pretty much most of the starting lineup is Brandon Ingram played okay in minutes. And it's like we really got to get things going and figure out direction. But I think some other guys should maybe get some more minutes. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the leading guy in this game for his points and where he was at. He got a lot of them in trash time, but I just like the chemistry that he's built with Frank Jackson. I think those 2 guys should be subbed in a little bit more. Etuan Moore, I don't think it's bad to get him some minutes. But Brandon Ingram also has to be coached up and told about getting his teammates some open looks, being a little more unselfish, man. I mean, the gravity that he carries being an all-star and the attention that he draws, man, there's no excuse for him having 2 games back-to-back with 0 assists. Like, it's just unacceptable. And Jackson Hayes is another guy. I'm wondering if you start feeding more minutes to him over Derek Favors, at least until he gets into the form that we know he's capable of, because we pretty much have no rim protection. I don't even see people's shots phased by Derek Favors. But when I watched Jackson Hayes, at least he was making them adjust shots. He's the only one that seems to be getting blocks. I can't believe the atrocious effort we got from Drew Holiday on the offensive end. Of course, he played defense. He did what he could. It didn't matter much. I mean, they sunk 25 3-pointers. So Drew Holiday being an all-world defender couldn't have been that important in this game and only come up with 4 points. And I don't know what was going on with Drew. And the whole team just seemed out of it. And like I said, the rotations and the substitutions to me are at the forefront and the catalyst of this, as well as them not being prepared. I don't know their routine or what their practice habits are or the bubble thing, but Elvin Gentry obviously has to switch things up because it's not working. They just didn't look ready. No looked ready other than our reserves, and I guess because they're hungry for minutes.
Well, this is the thing, not to cut you off,
You know,
not to cut you off, but I have to give you credit because you're absolutely right. The onus falls definitely on the head coach. You know, we still kind of blurred the fact of the minutes. Why is Zion still under minute restriction? And it's been months since he should be well beyond that. But the reality is they treating it to 15 minutes a game is utterly repulsive to me. And the fact that the Pelicans are versatile enough to institute different lineups to be able to compete with just about anybody. It's just insane to me to see how the defense is just so laughable. A lot of people said that Jeff Bezalel, who was christened with the term the defensive coordinator, he was the one that was supposed to come in and make sense of the Pelicans defense. He is he was not permitted to travel via his doctor reasons for him to stay back. But Bezalel is actually helping the team via his best methods, whether it's over the video conferencing with the players or whatever. But that defensive presence is definitely missing. But they're falling off the cliff at this point. They're taking on a Memphis team coming up soon, which they're in direct competition for that 8th seed. They can really gain ground with a major win against Memphis and lift their season up. 6 games remaining in this thing. 6 games. Now, before we get back into the rest of our conversation, DC, I'm going to let you finish your thoughts on there. Let's listen to what Zion Williamson had to say about his performance against the Clippers. Here's Zion.
I'm going to say it's very tough, to be honest, because, you know, as soon as I start to break that sweat, I look over and that horn's for me, and I have to come out the game. And, you know, also when I do catch the flow of the game, like I said, that horn goes off, and it's for me.
Hey, it's Andrew from ESPN. Are you frustrated at all at how maybe not how it's being handled, but the fact that you haven't been able to really get into that flow like you want?
Nah, because if I get frustrated, you know, that doesn't help the situation none. So, you know, I try to look at it from different perspectives, as in, like, while I'm out there, like, what can I do to contribute?
What's up, Zion? This is Will from The Athletic. How would you just describe the mood of the team last night after that loss? And when was the last time you ever experienced a game like that where it just got away from you? I know there was a game similar in Dallas, but you didn't play. So, I mean, when was the last time you
I don't remember. I really don't. It was probably some AAU game back in 5th grade, maybe. Like, I don't really remember. And the mood in the locker room was, you know, it's a loss, but, you know, we got to move on and focus on the next game and worry about getting the win.
Hey, Zion, it's Scott from the Times-Picayune. I'm just wondering, when you think about your practices that were before the bubble and what you're doing now, do you feel different physically? Do you feel like you're moving in any different way, or is this all really precautionary thing?
I think it's just really all a precautionary thing. I feel the same. It's just, yeah, like you said, it's just precautionary.
Hey, Zion, this is Christian Clark with NOLA.com. One of the things that Alvin has talked a lot about is just the turnovers. Why do you think, what do you attribute the clunkiness on the offensive end team-wide to through these 2 games?
I think just overpassing. You know, some of us will pass up on good shots, and some of us will, like 4 people will make a cut when only 1 or 2 people need to do it. And, you know, that forces us to pass the ball to no one out of bounds, or, you know, pass it behind someone. And, you know, both teams have capitalized off our turnovers, and that have been like a key part in our losses.
Hey, Zion, it's Andrew again. Your first 2 games after your debut, I guess similar minute structure to what you've done in these first 2 games. And then in that 3rd game, which was also, I guess, the 3rd game in 5 days, you jumped up to 27. Do you expect another jump up in your minutes tomorrow night?
Honestly, I'm not going to give you no answer to that question. You know, I don't want to give you something and it be something else, to be honest. So we'll find out come Monday.
Zion, it's Scott again. You've always played with so much joy and seem to enjoy basketball so much when you're on the court. Is it hard to enjoy the games when you're in the situation that you're in? Is it hard to have fun while you're playing when it's these weird minute bursts and whatever it might be?
It's still fun, but I guess, like you said, it's not to that full extent as I guess y'all are used to seeing. Because I'm a competitor, I want to stay on the court. So, when I'm coming out the game, just my competitive side of me is telling me, man, I just want to stay in. So I guess that does affect the fun a little bit, but not too much.
All right, great. Thanks, Zion.
No problem.
That's Zion Williamson, family. Zion Williamson chiming in with his thoughts on what's going on with the team, how he feeling. And, of course, a lot of people talked about the minute restriction. Of course, he's going to acquiesce to what the general manager said. We know Griffin, DC, came out with a comment about the restriction to kind of, I guess, alleviate pressure off Elvin Gentry, who was, if you remember, we played this on the previous show, that he had a kind of a pissed off comment or a vibe toward the questions that the reporters were having about why Zion Williamson is still under restriction. So instead of explaining it the correct way, in my opinion, he just put up a front and said, I've been told that this is how much I can play him, so I'm paying him. Well, who told you that? And then he went a little bit further about the medical personnel. Why is he still under minute restriction? And it's been months since. Why is he still under minute restriction? Go ahead.
It's a bit of bullshit, because the story keeps changing. Like one game, they told me he was under minutes restriction and he would only play in 3-minute bursts. Then everybody was pissed about that, start talking, fans all mad. And next thing you know, in the Clippers game, it didn't really matter. But Zion played like 6 or 7 straight minutes. I thought we were only playing in 3-minute bursts. It just keeps changing. And there's no foundation for it, which lets me know they're being extra cautious. They just don't want him to get hurt. And it's really just them outthinking themselves and not letting him play, because last time when they the summer league thing happened and they were on the fence about letting him play, but they let him play, banging knees or whatever. And that wasn't supposed to be a big deal, right? No, he just banged the knee and all of this shit. And then preseason comes around, they just turn him loose. And what happens? The same knee he banged wound up tearing his MCL. That same knee. So now I think he's healthy, but it's like a little bit of a shell shock, like our management is shell shock.
I get that, DC. But what I'm saying is, why would you then proceed to be? If that's the case, just wrap pillows around them and let them go out there and play. Come on, man.
Don't make no money, Big Q. You know that,
right? That's my point. And if you don't open up and stop being so ultra conservative with his development and his minutes, you're going to screw around and lose an opportunity to make the playoffs.
I believe as management.
And by the way, DC, many people think that are kind of silently hoping the Pelicans don't make it just so they can get rid of Gentry.
I don't think that's what management is looking at. I think they're looking at the fact they realistically don't believe we can win a championship this year. So they probably would prefer not to. They want to play meaningful games. You hear that term? They want get experience in that type of environment. But at the same time, I don't really think they want to go to the playoffs. I think they want to maximize their draft potential and reload and kind of switch this team up a little bit. Everybody's seeing how amazing it is, but I don't think they're done. I think they still want to keep building and build around the core of Brandon Ingram, possibly Lyle and Zion Williamson. I don't know if Drew is still on the market or if they're going to try to make a play at LaMelo Ball, if they think about anything like that. Or the other guy, what's his name, Edwards? The staff, to me, they seem unconcerned with this whole playoff thing that everybody else is hyped up about. I really think when they let Zion play against the Clippers and ran them extended minutes, I think they got a call from Adam Silver. It's like, hey, look, bro, them people want to see him, let him play. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's they wrapping them in bubble wrap, man. They scared. They don't want to mess up their future. Like I told you, everybody's talking about how slim Zion look like he gained 5 more pounds than me. He don't look slimmer to me. All this, he lost 25 pounds. Where? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't personally think he was overweight like everybody else was saying, but I don't see no 25-pound loss. So I think that coupled with him missing the days, coupled with maybe he tweaked, maybe rolled ankle or got or something in practice, and they just being super careful, man. I don't like it, but it's the reality of the situation.
Okay, now let's span forward. He got a matchup. They have a matchup coming next against the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, this is a very pivotal matchup. By the way, the Clippers they took the season series from the Pelicans 3-1 with that match.
I thought we beat the Clippers one game
3-1.
Paul George didn't play.
They took the season series 3-1.
Wow.
Because the only Pelican win that the Pelicans have against them was which was the first game when they beat them 132-127. Since then,
that was this season, though, right?
No, that's regular season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, regular season.
So we beat the Clippers
132-127.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
And then the rest of them, it was all Clippers, including the massive blowout. Now, they were close. The last time, game 3 of the regular season was close. The Pelicans just barely lost out 133-130, but this one wasn't even close. Wasn't even in the same area. So just complete. But let's span forward, look at the matchup that the Pelicans have coming up against the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of people are picking the Pelicans to win this matchup. The Grizzlies are 32-35. The Pelicans are 28-38 currently. And of course, Jay Morant is just been a baller of epic proportions. 18 points a game. This kid's shooting just under 49% from the field. He is a special talent. And really, truly, the Pelicans couldn't go wrong with either Zion or Morant. But right now, based on the minute, based on Morant's the reason why he's just playing and the Pelicans are being super scary, we're giving Zion Williamson minutes to play. It's just beyond me. But anyway, Morant is excellent. The top rebounder for the Grizzlies is Valanciunas, 11 rebounds a game versus Derek Favors, who's just under 10 rebounds a game. Jay Morant also is at the top. He's the top assist man, averaging 7 assists a game flat for them in 30 minutes of action. Over 30 minutes, 30.3 minutes per game. This kid's playing real minutes. He's playing real minutes and helping the team, be exponentially better. Their future is definitely bright with the point guard of the future in Ja Morant. Now for the Pelicans, Ingram's the top man, 24.1, becoming quite the clicker he is, and I don't like it. Lonzo Ball is averaging just under 7 assists per game in 32 minutes of action. And you look at the season series between these two, DC currently, New Orleans is leading the series 2-0. Remember, the Pelicans did beat Grizzlies 126-116. Then they beat them 139-111. This is going to be the third game in the completion game of the series here. Well, as far as the regular season is concerned, you're right. As far as the regular season games that we're listing on the schedule to play in tournament, that's a little something extra. But we're looking at the Grizzlies average on the season, points per game. They're averaging 113 a game while giving up 114 a game. They shoot 47% from the field, average 46.5 on the rebounds a game, 27 assists per game, 5.5 blocks a game, 8 steals per contest. DC is pretty good. They're currently on the 3-game losing streak, 4-6 of the last 10 games. New Orleans averaging 116 a game while giving up 117 a game. That is the problem and the flaw that me and DC have totally zeroed in, microscope, talked about, ratcheted up. Everything we could possibly say is that, yeah, they score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points because of that flawed defense, that flawed perspective on a team. That's not a balanced team. They'll score a lot of points, but they'll give up a lot of points. A team that scores 100 points a game will be able to score 117 a game on the Pelicans because they constantly give up points, easy walk-up layups, wide open. Remember, I'm the guy that's always saying the Pelicans give up a dozen wide open 3-point shots every game. I counted it. Every time they give up 12 wide open 3-point jump shots. I'm serious. It's just ridiculous. Now going to the Pelicans, giving up 117 while averaging 116 would explain why their record looked like that. 46.2% on the field goal percentage from the field. They average 47 rebounds a game, almost 27 assists per game, 5 blocks a game, almost 8 steals per game, loses a 2 in a row, 4-6 in the same situation. Now, of course, the Grizzlies did lose to the Spurs in a close one, DC, 108-106. They were in that game. And of course, they did lose a very tight matchup to Portland in overtime, 140-135. Those teams just happen to be better than the Grizzlies currently, but they were competing in those contests.
Competing is the key word.
Competing.
They not over against us.
Right. They're not getting walked over. They were competing. They barely lost to the Spurs the other night. They went into overtime and lost to a tough Portland club. But the Pelicans, coming off a Utah disaster where they were up by 16, fell through the float, lost the game in the final minutes by 2, and then were routed by the Clippers, who broke a franchise 3-point shooting record while being up as much as 46 points in the game, scored 77 by halftime, totally routed the team, destroyed them by 23 in the final moments. Right. What is your perception? What do you think happens in the Memphis matchup?
I actually I believe the Pelicans are going to win this game. The only reason I believe they're going to win this game is because they'll be so embarrassed by what happened with the Clippers. They know everybody's going to be watching this game. And it's just going to be the intensity, the pressure, and the want to go ahead and get it. Plus, I think the Pelicans are a better team than Memphis. Of course, I think one of those victories we got, Jared Jr. wasn't playing. He's a phenomenal player. And the second time he was, but he was just getting back in his groove. So we're going to get to see him full power. That's going to be a new look. But I think they go in there and they take this game just because of the matchup. We kind of fit being able to beat them, man. I don't know what it is, but every time we played them, it was a blowout. Morant going to do his thing. Ain't no stopping him. Jared Jr. going to get some points. But as long as we limit those guys and take care of the role players, the Pelicans should be fine this game. And they got to be teed off, man. And that's what we need from them right now. We need some intensity. We need them to be pissed. We have such a ho-hum team mentality. So many guys that are just super even kill, and like a Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday. You don't really see the aggression or the anger. Derek Favors. All of these guys are even kill.
You know, hold on, DC, hold on. That is a key point. Where is the ferocity? Hold on. Stop for a second. Let's walk through that. Let's not gloss over that, because that was super key what you just said. That was super key. The fact, listen to the guys that you make mention of that are the scorers of this team. The guys that you mentioned all have laid back mentalities. Zoe Ball, Brandon Ingram, he's Mr. Sleepy Eyes. He got a Tracy McGrady flow to his game. Laid back, lazy eye man deal. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Drew Holiday the same way. So some of your top scorers, Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and guys like that are laid back. Even Derek Favors has that mentality. Right. Now, the only guy I can speak up and say that don't have that laid back mentality is guys like you spoke about JJ Redick, Josh Hart. You know, so how do we
Jackson Hayes, Zion? They're all very aggressive.
Okay, so what? Let's look at
that. Birds, as Joe Myers calls them, are very aggressive.
So let's walk through that. What needs to happen to wake these guys up so they can be able to carry the season? We got 6 games left for a playoff push. How do we wake these guys up out of that sleeping man slumber?
Big Q, what needs to happen to wake them up? It happened. It happened Saturday. You got your goddamn face. I don't care how even kill somebody is and how laid back and cool, too cool for school they is. When you punch them in their face, they get mad. You know what I'm saying? So that was my point in bringing all of that up. I think what needed to happen happened. Punched by the Clippers. They were looking at the Jazz loss like, oh man, had that shot could have went in. Well, you know, we did what we needed to do, but we just that one got away. When they got punched in the face by the Clippers, they ain't no more talking. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no excuses. There's no way to back out of that one. You just got to show up. You know what I'm saying? You got to play like everything on the line, like you should have been playing. I don't know if maybe they was reading some of the hype and the conspiracies, and they thought the NBA was just gonna try to shoot the Pelicans in the playoffs. I don't know, but
the Pelicans didn't get the memo.
Realize that ain't true. So I think what needed to happen didn't happen, man. If they don't have it, this game is a very important family. I'm telling you, if they go out there in this game and let's say, which I don't will, but they lay an egg like they did against the Clippers, you seriously have to think about your team makeup and redoing some pieces. If you can't show up for this game, maybe this even kill thing ain't working. We need to get some less even kill people in here and get some more ferocity. But I think they'll show up, and I think Zion and Jackson Hayes is two guys when they don't have that anger that are key in bringing that type of energy. And I notice when they do, we look like a different team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they definitely have to bring it. Hopefully this is a wake-up moment here, man, to be honest with you. So we're gonna follow this thing, man, to be honest with you. And this is not going to be a long show. We'll be back later on after the Memphis Grizzlies game, maybe about an hour after the game is over with, to do the Pelican post-game report recap to see exactly if we spot on with our analysis here, because the Pelicans have lost 2 in a row and they have now 6 games remaining to make a playoff push. Fortunately, Portland lost and a few other teams lost ahead of them, but the Pelicans got to help themselves in this matchup to stay in contention, to even line up to have a playoff against the Memphis Grizzlies in that final spot. So that'll do it for the rest of the show. We'll be back later on after the Memphis game to give a recap and preview the following game on Pelican Post Game Report. So I'd like to thank y'all for joining. Please subscribe. If you aren't a subscriber, please hit the like button and feel free to share this show across all of your social media. If you're a Pelican fan, if you know other Pelicans fans, put them on the Pelican Post Game Report. From me and DC, thank y'all for joining. Check the links, check out the merch, support the stream, and won't back down to my Pelican fan. Peace.
Remington Tax Solutions is a company that, together with their partners, provide virtual tax consultation and preparation for individuals, small business, and nonprofit. They also provide notary and a host of other business-related services for their clients. Their associates provide a systematic yet very client-centered approach to their services. They offer the industry knowledge and insight to help solve your most complex tax issues. At Remington, their currency is time, the one resource that cannot be replenished. For that reason, they utilize the simplest and most effective forms of technology to make their services faster and more efficient. No need to wait in the office until your taxes are completed. Simply upload your documents via the Taxes to Go app or via their client portal, and they'll take care of the rest. Remington Tax Solutions is a member of the National Association of Tax Professionals and participates in the IRS Annual Filing Season Program, which is a voluntary tax education program to stay abreast of the ongoing changes in tax legislation. Remington Tax Solutions has a strong connection to the communities in which they serve. It is a part of their mission to make a positive impact on the lives of their neighbors. So, if you're looking for a reliable, effective, and trustworthy tax preparation service, Remington Tax Solutions is the business for you. Contact Remington Tax Services at their number 682-307-4410 or simply go to remingtontax.com. That's remingtontax.com. Remington Tax Service, virtual tax preparation for the individual and small business.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelican. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Valley. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registrars and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.